Okay, right. I think I'm live. All right. Just give me a moment. Just making sure that everything is okay. I would love to see if anyone is here. Let me know if the voice and the volume and all of that good stuff is good, and then I'll dive right in just a bit. Okay. Ooh, right. So happy 12/12 today, or the 12th of December 2022. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm just so grateful to be able to sit here and just chat with you and share some insights that came through for me today. Hi Jamie, welcome. Thank you, sister, for being here. So as you can see, I have my Christmas tree up. Half of it, part of it. I'm just gonna be sitting here with this beautiful tree because her spirit is just so divine and the smell is so good. I mean, anyone else here actually love the scent of pine? Hi, Savvy, welcome. I just love the smell of pine, and this little tree here is pretty fresh and I just love the smell, and I think I'm blending in today as well, and I think it's no coincidence. I was so drawn to just wear something green and dress myself up a little bit, so I'm like a Christmas tree as well. So welcome everyone. It's so good to see all of you on the 12th of December. So one thing I really wanted to pop in here and chat about is this beautiful title that I have put up for today's talk, which is the one thing that is influencing your embodiment of your authentic power. And it was a message that really came through very clearly for me to share, because there are so many layers to peel back on these things. And by the way, if you haven't yet, sign up for Peel Back, my Goddess to Goddess transmission that is happening on Wednesday for free. It's going to be free when you sign up, and then after 7 days, it will be taken down and it will be repackaged as a sale product. So you don't want to miss it. I'm not going to hold back anything. It's going to be a divine transmission, Goddess to Goddess. And it's really to address the question of this age old question of who am I? And really anchor into that through the transmissions that we're going to be downloading together on that day. So if you're not signed up yet, please do. If you feel called to do that, of course. If not, all good. Today, one thing that really came through for me is that we oftentimes, when we come into this space to do the work that we do, hi Shamita, welcome, darling. One thing that we really feel so drawn to when we come into the space of doing our spiritual work, our personal development, is oftentimes because we have gone through something in our lives that has made us feel almost like, maybe an imposter, maybe a black sheep. You've never felt like you belonged anywhere. You always felt like, you were the odd one out. You were very different from the rest of the people. So maybe that is something that you have felt some point in your life. And in going into a spiritual community or a personal development community or a mindset work community, whatever you want to call it, at the beginning of your journey, your hope is that you will finally feel like you belong somewhere. Even if it's not a very, clear intention at the outset, perhaps just kind of delve deep into yourself today while I'm speaking with curiosity. You don't have to say I'm right or wrong. Just dive deep into this topic yourself and really ask yourself, is it really, that one of the reasons I actually had was to come in and finally feel like I am being embraced, that I am being seen, that I am being held without any judgment in this space, right? Because For me personally, it was definitely one of the reasons. I remember that I never really felt like I could speak to anyone about some of the deeper spiritual things that I was feeling, not just in my body, but also my mind was cracking open in a big way. And I wasn't able to really tell anyone without being judged in a way like, are you kind of crazy or cuckoo or are you okay? Um, or they would just outright say like, wow, that's so out there, like we don't even know how to react to that. And so one of the reasons I really really came into the community, and I remember, at the beginning I was so excited and so really eager to meet people. I was like, oh my god, I am Liang and I do this and I want to bring you in, come on, have tea, let's share everything, like just open our hearts and share everything, right? And one of the biggest lessons I've learned this year actually is that no matter what happens in my life, even if that person wasn't the right person, or if that person turned out to be someone who was totally not in integrity, or if they were not honest, I know that I don't have to close my heart to that. That shouldn't ever be the reason for me to feel like I need to give up on something, such as, sisterhood, or, the feminine wounds that we carry, the witch's wounds that we carry so deep. There's no reason, even if we go through moments where we feel like, I thought I finally found the one, but this is not it. It cannot be the reason for us as leaders to close our hearts and harden ourselves against what is truly truly profoundly the most powerful thing of all, which is love. And I want to say love in a way that is truly, truly unconditional. And it's almost like a grandmotherly love that I'm speaking of, one that is really embalmed with wisdom. It carries the frequency of the universe. It doesn't tell you whether you're right or wrong, because, whether you're right or wrong, you are still loved, right? I'm talking about that kind of love. So, one of the things that I often see influencing women in their embodiment of their authentic power is this. You may be a leader, you may identify as a leader, you may identify as a healer, you may identify as someone that has just started out, or you really aspire to be a mentor, you aspire to be a leader, right? You want to make an impact in this world. Then I am speaking to you. You know, the one thing that is holding you back is oftentimes the feeling that you don't belong. And the reason why I say this is because we have been so conditioned to the point where we often mistake the feeling of belonging. And I'm going to dive deep into this today. The feeling of belonging, oftentimes, coming from deep conditioning that we carry and the programming that we carry from the paradigm that we live in, the social paradigm that we're in, oftentimes ask yourself, check in with yourself. What does that even mean to you? If you want to type that into the comment section, I will definitely look at them after I finish just waffling on and just downloading my transmission so that I'm not distracted. And I want to give this to you fully today. The feeling of belonging, for me at least at the beginning, was really about, being seen and being almost like exalted. It's almost like a feeling of, wow, Ling, it's so amazing that you could do this. Like you're so unique. You're so cool. You're like, wow. Like that was the meaning of belonging for me at the beginning. I really, really relished those moments of people really seeing me and really, really encouraging me and spurring me on and motivating me. And then, towards some point in my life as a mentor and a leader, as I continue to embody that frequency, and my frequency is rising so quickly, at some point, I began to want to surround myself with people who are walking shoulder to shoulder with me. And this comes with the work that I truly, truly carry and teach and guide my clients through. The work of really understanding who you really are is that you are the universe. You are a cosmic being. You are the creator of your life. And all those things that we say, like the higher self, that is you too. And I often come into the group, and oftentimes in the group, I always get told that they would love to know how to embody the goddess presence. And my very, very simple answer to that, hi, beautiful, is walk side by side with the goddess that you exalt. Walk side by side with the higher self that you so exalt. And then merge. And it's obviously a work that we need to do deeply in a safe and sacred space, because it's not as easy as just intellectually understanding what I'm saying. It also requires that your body be open to receiving the vibration of frequency. It also requires that there are circuits in your body, and in the body meaning not just the physical body, but it can be your other bodies, emotional, mental, spiritual, God body, electric body, astral body. All these places have to have circuits in place so that you can allow the energy to flow through. When the energy is flowing through, that's when you can understand and perceive what I'm saying, right? And so coming back to just the sense of belonging, the minute I really set that intention of like, okay, I want to be in a space where I can walk side by side with women who are literally just doing great things, and I want to be inspired in that space. I found myself in a space that I literally wasn't really like, like exalted. The word I use is like almost like there's no clapping of hands. There's no like, oh my God, you're so amazing. How do you do it? There's no like, oh my God, you're so cool and you're so unique. And at first, it felt really strange for me. Like, I was like, oh, like literally I don't really hear this anymore in this space. Have I signed up for a wrong type of space? Like, is it like I'm not enough, and I realized that so much of what I perceived back in the day as sense of belonging was actually validation. It really is validation. And having those people who were not really where I was at, not to say that they were anything less or inferior, but just people who really weren't doing what I was doing at the time, having them there gave me the validation, right? And this is what I say, what I call power. They exalt you, they look up to you because you have power, some kind of power. But what I desire to do, and is one of the core things I guide my clients through so that we can really truly change the world, is we want to be leaders instead of powerful forces. Yes, we can be powerful forces, but we want to be leaders. And what I mean is, we are leading them by shoulder to shoulder, walking side by side. We're not saying, come and follow me and copy everything I do. We're not saying you're wrong if you're not doing it the way I do. So this is a huge key that I saw. And when I was able to come into that space where I was surrounded by women who were doing amazing things and they're doing their own thing, and they weren't like, everyone is seen walking side by side, even though we're so different, that was when I realized that belonging really just means being seen and You get to be powerful all at the same time. Nobody's less, nobody's more. You're just walking side by side, and all of you have different and unique powers. That is belonging. And no, anytime you feel like you need that validation of like being seen or how cool you are or unique, that is again falling back onto the safety of validation. Hello, beautiful. So I just want you to differentiate this because it could really be the one thing that is holding you back from embodying your authentic power. Because lots of women don't allow themselves to have this because they think that if I fully step into my power, I won't be loved anymore, or they would think that I'm too cool for them. They would think that I'm like overpowering or too much, or they would ostracize me if I did that, right? I hear that all the time. But this is a mind game because we were raised to believe that. We were conditioned to believe that. And trust me, this programming happens often because, for a very good reason, it keeps everyone down. It keeps you down, it keeps you small, it makes sure everything is orderly. There's a saying in Cha Dao, in the way of tea, where, when we look at the living tea that we use in ceremony, which is truly ancient and truly wild and old growth trees, they have their own unique expressions. All the trees look different. They are wild, they are not trimmed, they are just everywhere. They are like tall and wide at the same time. Ooh, tree wants to talk as well. If you go to a tea plantation that is mass production, that is made to cater to a certain amount, like a set amount that is based on the farmers or the company's idea of production and harvest, the plantation looks the same. Everything looks exactly the same. And you know what? The soil is actually suffering. There's no space, there's little room to grow. There are no bugs and bees, there's no ecosystem because everything needs to be the same. And so when you profile the tea from the wild, the wilderness, they all have this beautiful expression and deep, deep, soulful spirit. Whereas the ones that come from the plantation that I was talking about in a uniform way of growing, they all taste like just as that. Like it's flavor and that's it. It doesn't go anywhere deeper. So just as with tea, humans as well, when we are all given and subdued with a certain kind of conditioning, we all turn out like that plantation. We will have very little room to grow. There's no room to be different. Everyone is the same. And it's very, very, very different from a wild growth tree, because the wild growth tree is almost like the spirit of the divine feminine. There's a dark element and there is also light coming through the tree. It's a very unique expression. Every harvest is different. The taste is different, right? So I just wanted to bring this up because it's oftentimes something that is so important to remember, because when we tone ourselves down for the sake of belonging, we really have to ask ourselves, like, is this really serving me, or am I just playing really small so that I am accepted somewhere? you know at one point of your time, as you continue to do your work, to grow, to expand, you will come to a time when you will feel that my truth no longer aligns with this space. I need the space that's bigger. So what do you do then? How would you decide for yourself? Would you still play along with the same old thing that's already become so comfortable and and predictable for you? Or are you going to step up and say, I am ready to rise even higher. And it doesn't mean that you're anything like, oh, they're inferior, I'm better. No, it just means you're giving yourself room to grow, and all at the same time you're walking with them, and you know that one day on their own journey in their own time they will also be rising, but at their own rate, at their own speed, in their own way, right? So when we want people to honor our expression as unique, we have to honor other people's expressions as well, even if it means that they don't agree with us. This is so embodied, in every fiber of my being right now, because I've had to come through some really difficult moments when I had to really ask myself, like, I don't know if this is really for me anymore. And yes, I will engage in a conversation and see where this can go. But if it doesn't work out, it just means it hasn't worked out in this moment right now. And I can always revisit if it feels right. But who knows where the journey will take me, and that's okay too, right? So don't ever mistake your sense of belonging with validation, my love. It's so important for us to really become so aware and remember that you are awareness. Yeah. You are consciousness. You are a consciousness in a physical vessel that you created to experience this life. Never forget that. Never ever forget. Yeah. Don't ever forget how big you really are. Okay? So, right. I think I've touched on all the key points. I really just wanted to really talk about this because, oftentimes when I hear comments of feeling not like, like the real deal, or like, oh, I'm like the black sheep, I never belong, everywhere I go, I don't feel like I really belong there. I always ask the question, first and foremost, like, what is your definition of belonging? What does it mean to be belong, to belong? What does it mean to belong for you? Okay, so something to journal on, something to really feel into. If you want to share in the comment section, that will be amazing. I would love to hear from you. And, this leads me to really just to say, to be a leader is absolutely an exquisite experience, because not only are you carving a way for others, you are also leading your life, you're leading yourself. And this is the first and foremost thing to do, by the way, before you lead anyone, is to lead yourself through and through in a way that continues to allow you to expand, really in a space of unconditional love. And this unconditional love is where wisdom springs from. Wisdom is really the one thing that we all continue to talk a lot about intellectually, but we don't really know what it means. To me, wisdom is the language of the cosmos embodied. Your body is always communicating to you, but are we listening? That's the thing. I had a beautiful ceremony yesterday, called the Sacred Bones of Tea. And thank you so much to all of those who joined and joined on the replay as well. And one of the things that really came through was, we've lost that sense of connection, not just within ourselves, but also with all of those around us and have come before us, and all those who will come after us. When we seat ourselves in that context, we start to remember how big we are, how cosmic we really are. And of course, it comes with the studies of mysticism and everything else. But really, this is non-negotiable. To really access and embody your vortex of stillness is the key to unlocking all of those things you desire. Yeah, all the astral traveling, the connection with the cosmos, and all of those amazing things, they come the psychic powers, all of that, they come because they are you. They are always you. But the key, the work you have to start doing is embodiment, embodying your powers. Because without embodying them, you continue to be overrun by your crazy high functioning mind who keeps telling you that you're not sane, you're not enough, you're out of your mind, you're all of those crazy things that the mind says. So we want to learn to train the mind. The mind is not an evil thing. It really isn't. It just needs to remember that it's not operating on its own, and it's okay for the mind to rest a little bit. And you can start to take over. You as the creator, you as the soul, you as the divine high being. Yeah. Okay, my love. So beautiful to really, really, really share this transmission with you. I send you all so much love. Any comments, thoughts, whatever that came through for you, feel free to share it in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. And if you desire to walk with me, DM me. Let's have a conversation to start the whole process going. You know, I've opened up a container for 1 year, so you can absolutely DM me and ask me for more information about that. Imagine 1 year of expansion, of creation, of elevation. What can you truly unfold and unveil? How incredible is that? It's going to be out of this world. So, sending you all so much love. I can't wait to speak to you. And I will see you on Wednesday for Peel Back. All right, my loves. Speak soon.